Folks, good morning. It is May 12th, 2024. You're watching AMS Wildlife. My name is Boy. Welcome to the show. It is another cavalcade day in the Netherlands. I'm standing at Polderbaan. At the moment, the only runway being used for arrivals. For the time being, it is used for arrivals. Last update of the METAR shows wind from 080 degrees, a little bit north of directly east. The bias is that the wind is going to turn to the south more later during the day. So fingers crossed that the runway will be continued to use for arrivals today. If not, then we're at a good position to see departures as well. It's a beautiful day over here. 18 degrees C already. The north-south runways are in use, the left and center runways are now being used for the departures, and the Polderbaan is now the only runway being used for arrivals for the time being. Our first airplane to arrive is arriving from Bilbao, Vueling flight 8354, Airbus A320. Oh. The airplane is 8 years old. Yesterday at Kaagbaan, I was visited by Jörg or JD, and afterwards we also had a talk, and also the blimp came. The blimp was also a subject, and JD rightly remarked that with the blimp and the fixed position of the mic, you're hearing the spooling down and the reversers less than when you have the mic on the camera. So today I'm back to using the microphone on the camera, and I'm going to test at what wind speeds the wind rumble becomes very noticeable, so that when the wind predictions are surpassing that wind speed, I can resort to using the blimp, and with lower wind speeds can continue using the dead cat. I'm thinking it starts to become more apparent with double-digit wind speed. So right now it is 8 knots, and when testing things before going live I didn't hear anything. So let's just see. A220 Bulgaria Air having arrived from Sofia. Another Bombardier C Series 300 or A220. Next up, United Airlines Flight 20, 777-200 arriving from Houston. The airplane behind it is an EasyJet A319 arriving from London Luton. And the 777 is now 8 hours and 47 minutes underway. It's 24 years old, this one. First flight February 2000. Happy Sunday to everybody who has joined already. Jimmy Pirate, JD, Maria, Adriaan, Arjan, Raketa 88, B-Dubs, Per, Johnny No Cash, Young Case, Level, Mattia, Leo, Patrick, Sander, Lucas, Panuvat, Zivi, Ed, YouTube fan, Kanaal Koerdistan, Adri, RDW, Olbor, Vexi, Ted, Tina, Gendo, QJ, John in Black. Good morning to you all. Dirk, Imam, Hans, Big John, Remco, Lane, Frits, Berry, Andrea, Marina, Jens, Danny, Vico, Ronald, Erik. Good morning all. EasyJet flight 22515 from London Luton. This is the Jesse GEZ-AJ. 18 years old, first flight March 2006, first butt shot of the day. Martin, morgen. André, good morning. Petra. All other viewers who have joined in the meantime, good morning. Let's quickly turn back. Delta Airlines flight 242 up next, A330-300 arriving from Boston, Massachusetts. 6 hours and 5 minutes it has flown to get here so far. The airplane has been flying now for 19 years, began for the first time flying as a professional airplane in March 2005. Yeah, that was loud. Lost a few decibels in my hearing because of it. Let's quickly turn back. Another heavy hitter is coming in next. About to land is Air Canada flight 808 arriving from Toronto. 6 hours and 36 minutes on the way. It's 777-200 long range. 16 years old, its first flight was in November 2007. Hey, and we are going to see Jesus high in the sky later around 10:45. Had a quick look just now, and Jesus was flying from Belfast to Manchester just now. What's its next destination? Yo, what up Alvin? Morning. Or good evening to you. Hope you've had a good day. Some Dutch guy, morgen. GODD Pro Max, goedemorgen, good morning. Evelyn, good morning. Peter, goedemorgen. Cassie M, goedemorgen, good morning. Maxine, goedemorgen. Mrs. Professor, good morning, happy Sunday. Freddy, goedemorgen. Aaron, goedemorgen. Good morning, David. Who is tuning in from the Blue Mountains down under? Sounds nice, Blue Mountains. Better Blue Mountains than Blue Balls, right? What? What? Wow, I'm totally getting ignored here. Right, the ducks are giving me the silent treatment. If you look to the direction of the waves, you will see that they're actually moving towards me, which is interesting. On the scale of chimney smoke, this is what the wind currently looks like. So right now, airplanes landing on Polderbaan do have a little bit of a tailwind component in the wind. Firefighters already did their round. I think they've already retreated back into the fire station. Big picture wise, this is what it currently looks like. Cirrus clouds, contrail remnants, relatively high humidity in the upper atmosphere. So you can definitely see the airplanes flying overhead, at least their contrails. Next to arrive is going to be an EasyJet A320neo, the OE-LSF arriving from London Stansted. Gives us a moment to have a quick look at the current status quo. Well, the wind, as you can see, it is blowing from the side, but also a little bit from the back. Otherwise, not much to write home about. CAV okay, no significant changes, 18 degrees C, so nice temperature. Runway configuration, we are standing over here right now. In terms of big planes, well, the Orange Pride has left for Paramaribo. We already missed one 747 landing. I was still setting up. There is another 747 coming in. Cargolux arriving from Nairobi. Jesus is still flying to Manchester. There's a Cargolux coming in from Miami, expected around noon. And there was another one expected 10 to 5 minutes to 1. The A380 in standard livery is expected just past 1 o'clock. Hopefully we'll be able to see them. Hopefully runway use will not get changed and runway action reversed, but we'll see. For the time being, it is arrivals. This is the only runway in use right now, and the OE-LSF is about to land after 37 minutes of flight. Brand new airplane. This airplane began flying in March this year, so really new. Goedemorgen Daniel. Daniel or Daniel? Sorgo Wursen TV. Good morning. Right, we have a nice pipeline forming. Let's see. Oh yeah, the third airplane is a bit lower. Sky Express coming in first from Heraklion in Greece, and after that we are going to see KLM Flight 644, 787-10 arriving from New York JFK, then a 777 arriving from Johannesburg. Now Alvin, also thank you for your super sticker. Baby Lemon with pom-poms in his hands, cheerleading. Thank you so much, cheerleader Alvin. Are you having any aspirations to become a cheerleader, mate? Alrighty, this is Sky Express arriving from Heraklion A320 Neo. 3 years old, first flight April 2021. And Greece is bliss. So too is ignorance. Does that mean that Greece is ignorant? You'll be the judge of that. I'm not going to say anything about it, but makes you wonder. Right, next up, KLM Flight 644. It's a 787-10 Dreamliner arriving from New York. JFK. Six hours and 16 minutes it has flown to get here. The PHBKL. Also a big thank you to Marco for your super chat. Zondagtoeslag. The Sunday allowance. Thank you so much for that, Marco. Very much appreciated. Well, it is a nice Sunday, so absolutely no punishment to be out here today. Next up, KLM 592 arriving from Johannesburg, South Africa. 777-300. 10 hours and 37 minutes on the way. The PHBVO, 9 years old, first flight March 2015. GOGD Pro Max, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for choosing AMS Live. Aphrodite, goedemorgen. Alvin really liked the location yesterday. Yeah, you have great lighting in the morning for arrivals over there. Definitely works in its favor. Parking is the major bottleneck over there. It's hard to go there during weekdays because there will be no parking spot left for you to park your car. But during the weekends, it's definitely an option. Also, once again, more splashing on the sides of the canal. Fishy stuff going on over there. Next up, LL, flight 337 arriving from Tel Aviv. Boeing 737-800, 4 hours and 34 minutes on the way. 15-year-old airplane, first flight, December 2008. Should be another airplane somewhere further up ahead, but not sure if you guys can. Oh yeah, I think I do see something. No, those are birds. Birds crossing. Twin jet flying west to east north of me. BA? I think it might be BA. BA Baracus. Two airplanes up next. KLM 737-800 arriving from Berlin. Delta A350 arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. Also a big thank you to Jörg for your super chat. Thanks for the wonderful Saturday at Kaagbaan Boy, he writes. Well, thank you for finding the place and keeping me company. It was a pleasure to have you. It was very nice to meet you and made my day actually. Even though the stream ended early, me and JD were still talking extensively afterwards. I think it was around 2:30 that I arrived at my car. Home around 3. First meal of the day after 3 p.m. Started to get a little hungry, but it was worth it. Also thanks JD for the beautiful pictures and for allowing me to share them with the audience. JD has a newer phone than I, and it has a much brighter screen. Really need to look for another phone, because out here in the field with the reflections it is hard to see everything. Delta Airlines up next, A350. Flight 74, arriving from Atlanta, Georgia, 7.5 hours on the way. Let's see, there is another airplane behind it. Brand new airplane, the A350, started flying in February this year for the first time. A319 in the background, EasyJet arriving from Birmingham. Adi Clemencia, goedemorgen. And all the others who have joined in the meantime, welcome to the show. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We are standing at the Polderbaan. At the moment, the only runway being used for arrivals is runway 18 right. Wide. wide and loud. There you go. Morning, James, who is watching from bed. Nice. Another shark over there in the distance. Now, what is it doing? Probably taxiing to the northern threshold of the center runway. Now Remco, I thought you were a member already. If not, welcome to the Roro Sky Lounge. If so, welcome back. Thank you for choosing AMS Live. Hope you will like it in the lounge or like it again. Also, thank you Alvin for your super chat, 350 for A350. Not sure how many we will see. There was already a Finnair that landed as I was walking up here, sadly. Standard livery, but still a beautiful airplane. EasyJet flight 27842 having arrived from Birmingham. "16 years old, first flight February 2008. Servus Herr Wolf, good to see you again, mate. Hope all is well. Slowly but surely more crowd forming. It was still relatively calm over at the parking lot when I arrived there, but now looking past that man with the blue vest, you can definitely see some people already in the background who are standing along the fence of the parking lot of the Spottersplatz. Bird controller is coming, one of the three, I believe, Ford Ranger Raptors. Contrails are also abundantly present today. Twin jet flying from southwest to northeast by the looks of it, still south and a little bit east of me. Also flying from west to east just north of me is another twin jet by the looks of it. More BA? Could be. I think it might be BA. Also outbound traffic. Embraer. Back to the inbound traffic. KLM flight 1352, Embraer 190, arriving from the Czech Republic, Prague to be precise. 1 hour and 8 minutes underway. The PHEZH. Faz, it's the Faz. Airplane is 14 years old, first flight October 2009. Delta Airlines, arriving from Salt Lake City, should be somewhere in the background, turning onto the glide slope. Ah yeah, there it is. And that is the Team USA livery. USA, USA. Hell yeah. A330neo, arriving from Salt Lake City, Utah. You might also pick up the sound of an airplane passing overhead outbound. That's a 737 to Copenhagen. And looking further up ahead, after the A330neo looks to follow a 787-10 Dreamliner arriving from Cartagena. Bird control Embraer combo shot. Also hearing something heavy spool up from center. Let's see if we can transition into that as well. That was a Dreamliner that I heard spooling up. Is that a triple? No, that's a triple looking at the tail. Salut Jean-Yves, good to see you again, mate. Monique, goedemorgen. If I didn't say good morning already. Piet Koistra, goedemorgen. Yeah. Time to delve into a new phone with a higher screen brightness. Really hard to read the chat. And flight radar, for that matter. Alrighty, up next, Delta Airlines Flight 56 in the Team USA livery, arriving from Salt Lake City, A330neo, 9 hours 14 minutes underway, 3-year-old airplane, first flight May 2021. Coast Guard Dash 8100 on its way to the coast for a patrol. Next up, KLM Flight 749 arriving from Cartagena, 74710. Cheers Alvin for another super sticker, red hand pointing up. Up, up and away. This is the PHBKI, 3 years old, had its first flight in August 2020. Hadi Liewe, goedemorgen, good to see you again, mate. Hope all is well. There it is. Another twin jet flying relatively far to the north. Looks like it is flying east, southeast-ish. Next up, Croatia Airlines flight 450 A319 arriving from Zagreb, 1 hour 43 minutes on the way. Daarom behind it, arrival from Bucharest. Third airplane behind it is an A320neo arriving from London Gatwick. Daniel has to go for the time being, but should be back around midday to see some of the queens. Hopefully this runway will still be used for arrivals then. If it will, see you then, mate. Also, welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, Sasha, who just became our latest Aurora Sky Lounge member. Thank you for choosing AMS Live. Hope you will like it in the lounge. We've got all the custom emojis now at your disposal. Use them and don't be shy using them. Good morning, Mabuba. Good to see you again. Tuning in from Iran. Hope all is well. Daarom arriving from Bucharest. Giving us a Romanian butt shot. Bam! And an outbound 737, I think it was. Indeed, Jerusalem, frogs are in the background. I've heard them quite a few times already, but haven't been able to locate them yet. Hey, what's that? Is that inbound or outbound? I think it might be inbound. Yeah, I have both enabled. What is this? 777 arriving from Cape Town, doing an Icarus flying very near to the sun. Also another heavy taking off from center. And let's see what is coming in, A320neo. Yeah, let's focus on that then. That is a Dreamliner that just took to the sky. Quite a few contrails on their way. Another heavy spooling up by the sound of it. Then again, we have the KLM Dreamliner in 100 years livery coming in from Austin, Texas. KLM flight 668. Not to be confused with Houston. This is Austin. More heavies. Contrail outbound. Contrail inbound. Ooh, gust of wind. Feels like it is from the west again, the east. Erik is asking how how low is the grass right now where you're standing? Well, non-existent. Non-existent. It's barren. Walking around the tripod, you can see that there's like a half moon where it's just sand. Next up, KLM flight 1930, arriving from Geneva, 737-700. 1 hour 14 minutes underway. The airplane behind it visible is SAS A329 arriving from Stockholm. Once again hearing something heavy spool up from, I think, center. Yeah, that was another Dreamliner by the looks of it that just took off from center. No, Wolfgang, no signs. Thanks Aphrodite. Queen from Atlas Air next. Definitely worth having a look at that. Oh. Northern Carriage also coming. I think that's the Queen then. Taking off. Yep. Right, Atlas Air is going to Chicago. Now, pretty soon we're also going to see a 747 land, and to be precise, after the A321 from Lufthansa arriving from Frankfurt. I'm just going to watch the touchdown and then I'm going back to the Queen. Our next airplane is Cargolux, the number 3 on flight radar, tracked by 624 people arriving from Nairobi. 8 hours 22 minutes on the way. 19 years old, first flight February 2005. Not exactly the loudest of landings, sadly. Ready. Up next, Lufthansa and Star Alliance livery arriving from Munich A319. Also a control coming directly towards me. Which is a bit hard to see. Lufthansa flight 2302 arriving from Munich A319. 26 years old, first flight October 1997. Now, in the meantime, horse and carriage are getting closer by. And so too is this 777. KLM B748 arriving from Cape Town, South Africa. 777-200 the PHBQL, 18 years old, first flight February 2006, flight time 11 hours and 12 minutes. Alright, the horse is accelerating, different tempo of the hooves. Oh, I see that Andian is also back in the chat. Uncle Critical. That's not good. Wish him well, Andian. Please, patrolling on their bikes, or is that the military police? I think it might be the military police. Right up next, KLM Flight 1002, arriving from London Heathrow, 737-800, 42 minutes underway, par for the course, nominal flight time. PHHSE, which is 12 years old and had its first flight in May 2011. If you just joined us, welcome to the show. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We are standing along the Polderbaan, runway 1 at right. At the moment, the only runway being used for arrivals. Something fishy going on in the water here and there. Just now, yeah. Also Air Baltic coming this way, passing overhead. On its way to Riga. A220-300. One queen already landed. We saw the departure of an Atlas queen. Our next airplane to land, Air Malta, arriving from Malta. Although it is an all-white version. Next up will be Transavia, a 737-700 arriving from Pisa. Let's have a quick look, do a refresh of the METAR, see what the wind's been doing. Wind back to blowing from the east, still a handful of knots, 10 knots, 304. Temperature 19 degrees C, no, close. Still CAV okay, ceiling and visibility are okay. There is a Cargolux over Ireland, expected around noon. 10 to 1. Atlas Air still over the ocean. Emirates A380 expected just after 1 o'clock. Let me copy paste the meter into the ticker after this landing. Transavia flight 5424. The PHR XRC. 21 years old already. Good morning to Ashley, who is tuning in from Norwich. Goedemorgen Theo, and all the others who have joined in the meantime. Ciao Michael, and morning to the other Michael. Air France arriving from Paris, Charles de Gaulle. Up next, Air France flight 1444, A320. With another airplane behind it, another A320 arriving from London Heathrow. Jeroen, goedemorgen. Martijn, goedemorgen. All others who have joined in the meantime. Alright, I think that the chat window is back in sync with the computer. Always have the issue that when I scroll to read longer messages on my phone, that the chat more often than not freezes. That was BA flight 430 in one world livery. Let's take a little detour. Guess the airplane. Circle back, prevent the wires from getting tangled. Transavia up next, arriving from Olbia, flight 6916 737-800, the PHHBJ. 13 years old, first flight May 2010. Right, Sky Express arrival from Zakynthos will be next. Flight 7100, A320neo. Let's see what else is in the pipeline. ITA number 2 arriving from Milan, and KLM arriving from Copenhagen number 3 right now. First up, another Sky Express arriving from Zakynthos, 3 hours and 3 minutes on the way. A320neo, 4 years old, first flight April 2020. Airplanes and fishy stuff. Talking about a combo shot. Overhead, another Bombardier C series. This one to Tallinn. Rumor has it, if you're not tall, you're not allowed to live in Tallinn. Not sure if that's true. Our next airplane, beautiful Azzurro, arriving from Milan, ITA Airways flight 120. One hour and 27 minutes underway to get here. 13 years old already. First flight was in November 2010. Ciao ragazzi! Welcome to the Netherlands. Right, more narrow bodies for the time being. KLM 737 arriving from Copenhagen, and a Transavia 737 arriving from Ljubljana behind it. After that, it is going to be a 777 from United arriving from San Francisco. First up, KLM flight 1268, BXI, 23 years old. There's a KLM style landing, keeping up the speed. Evacuate late. Sooner to the gate. Mr. Ufa is tuning in from Florida. A good early morning to you. Welcome to the show. And all others who have joined in the meantime, welcome too. If you're new to the channel and you're liking what you're seeing, don't forget to drop a like if you haven't already. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Also feel free to say hi. It's not mandatory, but it's always appreciated. A lot of people are watching. All of them are friendly and a lot of them are knowledgeable. So also if you have any questions, feel free to shoot. Hadi hon, goedemorgen. So arriving from Ljubljana in Slovenia. United Airlines flight 968 up next, 777-200 10 hours and 30 minutes on the way from San Francisco to Amsterdam thus far. It's been flying since February 1997, making it 27 years old. Further in the distance, vaguely visible, is an Embraer 175 from KLM arriving from Munich. And an A321 Neo from ITA is arriving as number 3 right now. Sounds emanating from that where did it come from? That sounded a bit weird, didn't it? Now, Alan, didn't see you there, but I did see a message pop up that you gifted a membership just now. Thank you and good morning. See that Stefan was the recipient. Stefan, if you haven't already, don't forget to say thank you for the gifted membership. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge. And Alan, thank you so much for your generosity. And Alvin super chats me, wishes Han a happy birthday. Where is it your birthday? Hard to see those messages, man. If I missed that, congratulations, Han. Another year older and wiser, hopefully. Hope you enjoyed the day. Not sure why I get the super chat from Alvin, but thank you, Alvin. Seems misdirected then. Ready. Oh, okay. See that there's an Embraer 190 from Oslo on the glide slope for the center runway. So I'll also have to update the ticker with regards to the runway usage. Oh, also, come to think of it, I don't think I ever updated the meter. Or did I? Let's fix all that then quickly. Right, first of all, there's probably another meter out, so let's have a look. 10 knot wind from 090 degrees, KVK 19 degrees C, copy. And runway use, well, that is probably lagging and still indicating the same. Yeah, thought so. The Queens are coming, and so too is the A380. Right. Got the entire ticker updated. And this is ITA Air arriving from Rome. A321neo, flight 108. Brand new, began flying in February this year. Alrighty, now sadly a Chinese triple is coming, but it is arriving from the east, so I'm thinking it is going to land on the center runway. Also not seeing any traffic to, oh wait, no, there is one from Zurich is still coming. I was thinking are they also going to do an inspection of sorts, but that's not the case. Just a little delay in the next airplane for Polderbaan. That's okay. This is KLM Flight 1762 arriving from Bremen, going to the center runway, Embraer 175. And that's a 31-minute flight so far. Looking up and looking down again to speak into the mic, but looking up and around me, no immediate contrails in the vicinity. Cirrus clouds all over, but the sun burns right through it. The sun is still shining. Not a whole lot of wind. On the scale of chimney smoke, currently it looks like this. Wind from the east. And another Embraer on its way to the center runway. Wait a minute. This is the Embraer. This is the Embraer from Bremen. Was that other airplane not visible on flight radar then? That's weird. This is the Embraer 175 to Bremen. 32 minutes now. Flight from Bremen to Amsterdam. Going to abort following it, because our next airplane is also coming. Arriving from Zurich, KLM Flight 1918. Boeing 737-800, 1 hour 7 minutes underway. The PHHSD, which is 13 years old and had its first flight in March 2011. The other Embraer came from Oslo. Thank you, I am watching you. Who was watching that as well? So if you just joined us, welcome to the show. You are watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're standing along the Polderbaan, runway 18 right. Currently one of two runways being used for arrivals. Wind blowing from the east. Temperature nearing 20 C or 70 F. Parallel arrivals have just begun. Fishy stuff going on in the water. Ducks are swimming. Or is that? No, those are the ducks. We already saw the arrival of one 747 2 more are on the way, arriving from the west. So even with parallel arrivals, those are expected to land on this runway. Emirates A380 is also on the way, expected just past 1 o'clock. So that makes it a very likely candidate to land on whatever other runway is open for arrivals than the runway we are standing next to. Now, if it is going to be runway center, like where this airplane is flying to, as you can see, we still have decent view, particularly if I also enable some digital zoom in addition to the optical zoom. So as long as arrivals take place from north to south as they do now, we should be in the clear. Chinese triple making its way over to the center runway. This is China Cargo Airlines arriving from Shanghai. Flight 209 with a reasonable flight time of 10 hours and 56 minutes. The Chinese still allowed to use Russian airspace to fly to Europe. This particular airplane is 3 years old and began flying in June 2020. If I don't go back and forth, dividing my attention between flight radar and my camera screen, it will not go back and forth so much. In the meantime, another Transavia 737 just touched down over here on Polderaan. Something you don't see every day, a 737 from Transavia. If you saw it here. This one arriving from Meon, bringing some mayonnaise to the Netherlands. Right, see that Alvin has to go. Thank you for joining, mate. See you in the next one. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Morgan Günther, good morning, Dre. Captain Jerry, good morning. And are you leaving also? No. On a day where, if traffic is picking up again a bit to the Polderbaan, we should be seeing glide slope shots. Now there is an airplane coming, Air Canada Flight 900, Dreamliner. Since we missed the touchdown of the Transavia and it all moved by so quickly, let's have another look and watch how this 737 is making its way over to center. Pretty soon there's also going to be a G in the house, arriving from Athens. Next airplane after this one also going to center. More contrails in the sky. Also on the other side, north of me. This is really far zoomed in, gets really pixelated. This is back to the top end of the optical zoom. A320neo arriving from Athens, a G in the house pretty soon. Howdy Danny, goedemorgen. Up next, Air Canada Flight 900 arriving from Montreal. 7878 Dreamliner, 6 hours and 3 minutes on the way to get here. 9 years old, first flight May 2014. And good morning to Farouk, who is tuning in from Turkey. Eugenio is tuning in from Buenos Aires in Argentina. Buenos dias. And welcome to the channel, all of you. Astro Wolf says AMS Live all around the world. Yeah, bro, man's international now. Check the statistics. Yeah, too bad we cannot use Around the World from Daft Punk due to copyright infringement and getting demonetized, but cue the music in your head. Hey there, Dave. Morning. Mel, welcome. Tuning in from Toronto. Good morning. Christel, goedemorgen. Adrie gaat wat anders doen. See you in the next one, mate. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Next up, JetBlue arriving from Boston, Massachusetts, A321neo, and in the background the 777-300 arriving from Willemstad, Curaçao. Quick shot of vodka to keep warm. And back to the camera controls it is. JetBlue Flight 31, A321neo, arriving from Boston, 6 hours 18 minutes on the way. 2-year-old airplane, first flight June 2021. Jane is wondering what is on the menu of today with regards to stupid names. Let's see then, shall we? Hey there, Jane, allow me to introduce myself. Haha. Well, we saw that one before a couple of times. Old news, yesterday's news. In that case, let us turn back. Witness the arrival of the next 777-300 KLM flight 736. Willemstad, Curaçao is where it is coming from. 8 hours and 33 minutes is its flight time so far. Bird controller is also in the vicinity. It's the PHBVV, the triple that is. 3 years old, first flight December 2020. Oh, did we get a wave? I was focused on getting the logo, not losing the logo, missed the wave of the pilot. Apologies to the first officer who waved to me. If you're seeing this, sorry that I didn't reciprocate. Sasha's going to make breakfast for the wifey. And are you him or her? Don asks, why JetBlue fly with such small plane to so far distance? That's a good question. I think because it is more economical. Probably a route that doesn't have more passengers than the A321 can handle. Obviously you want to use the smallest and most fuel efficient airplane that you can use on a certain route. So I'm thinking this is probably most practical. Also, the airplane equipped to do shorter routes, but way uncomfortable, Tone says. Well, that depends on the seating configuration. If it is like Transavia has, then yeah, it is very uncomfortable. Got a wave from the female driver of K2 just now passing by. Next up, Iberia Express arriving from Madrid, and behind it is another A320neo that has crossed the Atlantic, Air Transat, arriving from Montreal. Hey, Dreamliner arriving from Curaçao, which is from the west, going to the center runway. Does that mean that they are going to do an inspection in a moment? Meanwhile, Donald also just arrived over here. Iberia Express flight 3722 having arrived from Madrid just now. Hey Anna, Tiger is also back. Good to see ya. Marike, goedemorgen. Petrokov, goedemorgen, good morning. Harry Lime. The third man called Harry Lime. How about that? Right. Donald's exotic cousin. What? What? Yeah, that's me. What? Bright yellow eyes, beautiful. Such a big contrast. What? You see him think, who's that idiot calling me names? Where's that mother ducker? Air Transat arriving from Montreal, A321neo. Hey there, Ange. Howdy, Hans. Kuifeend. Okay, what's the English word for that? Back to autofocus so that we can see it nicely, nice and sharp. What? Is that big bluish purplish or something? Or is that just me? I am color vision deficient, mind you. Right, and in the meantime, a Dreamliner from TUI arriving from Curaçao, going to the wrong runway. flight 397, 8 hours and 34 minutes underway. Back to manual focus. The PHTFM, 9 years old. First flight made 2015. Alrighty, let's quickly turn back. Next airplane to Polderbaan, about to touch down. That is a KLM Embraer 190 arriving from Brussels, flight 1704. Fizo, PHEZO, 14 years old. Right, the next airplane has the potential to get loud. Delta Airlines A330-300, arriving from Minnesota, Minneapolis to be precise. Flight 162, 7 hours 57 minutes underway. It's an A330-300. And the airplane behind it is KLM Flight 636, which is a 787-10 Dreamliner. Another Chinese triple is sadly flying on the glide slope to center. Huge 20 minutes of flight time for the Embraer 190 that arrived from Brussels. Right, hopefully Jennifer Lopez was on the ATIS in the background. Let's get loud. This A330 definitely has the potential to do that. About to touch down after nearly 8 hours of flight. The airplane 8 years old. Let's look and listen. That's what I'm talking about. They waited until they passed me by before spooling up the reversers. Thanks for that. That definitely was a good one. Don asks, what's your choice, Boeing or Airbus? Well, there's not much to choose from, is there? Depends on where you need to go to and what airplane the airliner is flying on that day. I'd have to say, aesthetically, I prefer Airbus A350, but the rest of the fleet I think is hideous. Aesthetically, I mean. I like the A330 because it has the potential to get loud and because it makes the softest landings of all the heavies on average, but aesthetically I don't think it is a pretty airplane. The A350 I do think is pretty. Yeah, so too is the 747-400. However, that's no longer used for passenger flights. Now, because of its track record, I also like the 737, the next generations. So not the Maxes, but the ones that did not fall out of the sky or lost doors. Just because it is such a reliable, dependable workhorse. But the aesthetics are also quite bland. You can definitely see that it was designed in, what was it, the 60s or so? That nose, really ancient. Dreamliner, of course, also very pretty. You just gotta love the flex that the wings, you gotta love the flex of the wings. Alrighty. Let's see. Hoping shorts is done now. Toodaloo. Jane asks, what's your favorite retro plane? Good question. We've seen a couple. Just picking from what we have seen in the stream so far. Still hard to choose. I like the Airbus A320 by Aer Lingus a lot. The LOT Retro, what was it? Embraer 190 I think it was, also very pretty. The Retro 747 Cargolux is of course also very pretty. I think I like that one. Well, yeah, that's I think if I have to choose, and cargo is also allowed, I think I'd have to go for the Cargolux Retro 747, just because it is and retro and it is a 747, so that's best of both worlds. And Wolfgang asks, do you think that the A330neos are looking bad? I think they're looking a bit less bad than the A330-300s, but I'm still thinking the bulge where the main gear goes, where it retracts, it's like a fat person with fat rolls hanging over your belt, right? Captain Wheelie? Captain Wheelie is back on the Embraer 190. This is Captain Wheelie, 100%. And also on an Embraer 190 arriving from Nice. Doubly nice. That was sweet, sweet indeed. Now, what I despise the most from the about the aesthetics of the A330 is the bulge where the wings attach to the fuselage and where the main gear also retracts. It's so protruding. I really think it is looking hideous. If you compare that, for instance, with the A350, it also bulges, but it is much more fluent. It's not as distracting. Whenever I see an A330-300, that's always the first thing that my eyes go to, that bulge. Don asks if I play Microsoft Flight Simulator. Mate, I have a day job, I do streaming, I have a household that I need to run. I also like going to the gym and whenever possible do cardio. I don't have time to play any video games, sadly, or simulators or anything. I still have a PS4 that I bought a couple of years ago before I started this channel. Thought maybe in the winter months when it is rainy and I have some spare time, maybe I could play a game or something. Still have to play GTA 5, bought it, still untouched. Collecting dust in my living room. Still, it's not going anywhere, so who knows? But my days are already full enough as it is. Alrighty. Still parallel arrivals. Embraer 175 arrival from Bologna. Next to center. However, I'm going to stick with what is coming to Polderban. Try to see if I can spot it already. I think, is this it? I think it is. Our next airplane coming in. And indeed, Mrs. Professor, finally Captain Wheelie live. That was without a doubt Captain Wheelie. That was a trademark Captain Wheelie. So expect a separate video of it. With some funny music, of course. I already found great tune. Also stuff preparing, finding copyright free music for when the next Captain Wheelie, awesome Wheelie shows itself. Ladies and gentlemen, members, dust off your emoji. It is that time again. Also make sure that that butt shot emoji is nearby. You might need to use it. Our next airplane is Play, flight 460, A320neo, arriving from Reykjavik, 2 hours and 45 minutes underway. It's the TFPPC, a year old. Oh dear, I think there might be a fire. That looks like smoke emanating from a fire. Alrighty, Play, arriving from Reykjavik, up next. Meanwhile, the fishy are also playing right next to me. Car fire in Vijfhuizen, Hans is writing. Dear Sir / Madam, fire, fire, help us. All best, Maurice Moss. Sent. Right, time to relax. We just sent an email to the fire station. They should be on their way. Next up, arriving from Paris, Charles de Gaulle, KLM flight 1406, 737-900, the PH BXR, 22 years old, first flight September 2001. Now, Jin Shin the Coot also back. Although he's trying to hide, we have seen him. We know he's here. Next up is an E2 Embraer 195 arriving from Dublin, Ireland, flight 1136. 1 hour and 6 minutes underway. The PH NXR, 1 year old, first flight January 2023. Still splashes going on. Inside of the water. Shin chasing away the duck. That's not friendly. Don't be so territorial, mate. Alright, we've got a twin jet coming our way. Looks like it is coming from either Frankfurt or Munich. A330? Is that an A330? I think it might be. German Airways Embraer 190. KLM 1944. Ah, Frankfurt to Detroit. Thank you, Dirk. A330 indeed. This German Airways Embraer 190 is giving us a butt shot after it has landed, arriving from Basel. Is there another showdown in a minute? Jin Shin was very aggressive towards Donald just now. And they seem to be going there each their own way, so crisis averted. Hey, Paul also back in the chat. Morning, Paul. Good to see ya. Hope all is well. Our next airplane is an Embraer 190 arriving from Southampton. Behind it is a 777-200 arriving from Toronto. It's 11:26 now, so I'm thinking in 15 or so minutes center is going to close again and all traffic will be coming to Polderbound once more. Let's also see if we can squeeze in an update of the Quad Squad members. If I recall correctly, the first of the two remaining 747s still expected before the A380 it would be expected around noon. The other 10 minutes to 1. Let's have a quick look, shall we? So, Cargolux is already on its way over. Arriving from Miami, expected in 20 or so minutes from now. Jesus is on its way to Munich, so as QJ, I think it was already mentioned, Jesus will be flying overhead soon. Atlas Air is also still expected a few minutes later, around 1 o'clock, and the orange pride is outbound to Paramaribo. Emirates A388 in Hungary, expected 10 minutes past 1 local time. Let's quickly turn back Watch the landing of the 777-200ER arrival from Toronto. KLM flight 696, 6 hours and 38 minutes underway to get here. 777-200ER, PHBQO, 17 years old. Hey there, Salo and Yillard. When the camera is pointing in this direction, the sun is not shining on my phone screen and I can read the chat. On the other side, I'm seeing mostly reflections. Definitely going to make work of getting a new phone soon with more nits, better legibility in daylight. Now the airplane that we saw yesterday for the first time is going to make its second appearance in a moment. Special livery, Adler, German Airways special livery, flying for KLM. Flight 912 arriving from Aberdeen, Embraer 190 long range, which had its first flight in January of 2006. 1 hour and 6 minutes underway. Hey there Tayyab, tuning in from Abu Dhabi. Welcome to the show, mate. And all others who have joined in the meantime, welcome to You're Watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We are standing at the Polderbaan, 1 right. Used for arrivals, wind blowing from the west, no, from the east. Apologies. Let's do an update of the weather while we're at it. Right, wind has been hovering around the east more or less all day and still also around 9 to 10 knots. 304, it's SCAV okay, ceiling and visibility are okay. That means we have sun, no rain, no clouds in the lower 5,000 feet surrounding Schiphol Airport. Parallel arrivals, I think for 10 more minutes. We are standing over here. Soon this runway, I think, is going to be used for departures again, together with the other north-south oriented runway, making this runway where we are standing next to the only runway for arrivals. Let me also paste that weather report into the ticker and let me also take you through it. For those of you who don't know what that means, the METAR is the weather report that gets updated twice an hour. Very informative if you know how to read it. So the METAR is from the 12th, 9:25 Zulu time. That is half an hour ago. Wind speed is 9 knots from 080 degrees. The wind direction is variable between 040 degrees and 110 degrees. It's SCAV okay, ceiling and visibility are okay. 21 degrees C already. The current air temperature, the dew point is 13 degrees C. The air pressure is 1017 hectopascals. No significant changes are expected. Let's have a quick look at the Adler special livery. We also saw it yesterday for the very first time. Now making its second appearance in the stream. Those of you who don't speak German, Adler means eagle. So the eagle has landed, basically. The Adler had gelandet. And is giving us a butt shot to boot. Now I'm thinking maybe the center runway is already closed. The Embraer 190 from Aalborg, which is up next, I think would have landed on the center runway if it were still open. So I'm thinking maybe they closed it a bit early. That means that the Polderbaan already has become the only runway for arrivals. In the meantime, good visibility, also allowing us to see airplanes pass overhead, contrails. This one flying from east to west, right towards me. Will be passing in my zenith. This is KLM flight 1284, arrived from Aalborg. 54 minutes on their way. It's the Phezr PHEZR, 13 years old, first flight August 2010. Yeah, it's that day again. Fishy stuff going on. Right, I'm going to update the ticker with respect to runway use. I am calling it center runway closed for arrivals, and I'm guessing it will be used for departures in a moment. Alrighty, our next Transavia flight 5676 arriving from Ibiza, the party island that allegedly also has pretty nature where you can relax and unwind. Not sure if the passengers on board this airplane all went to enjoy the nature or pull all-nighters in the club, but they're returning now. Apparently the cousin of Captain Wheelie is also working as a pilot for Transavia. Let's see, there's another contrail that is passing south of me. Looks a bit more contrasty. Yeah, that is definitely more contrasty. Zoom in. Now I'm passing south of me. I think we can read it. It very much looks like Delta. Or is it Servus and is it Austrian? One thing's for sure, it's not Qatar. Next up, SAS A329 arriving from Oslo, flight 821, 1 hour 21 minutes on their way to get here. Serom, SEROM, 5 years old, first flight November 2018. Oh man, it is lovely weather over here. There's a little bit of wind. Standing here with my vest and my jeans on. This is perfect weather. Nice temperature, not too warm, not too cold. Just lovely. TR says Cargolux in 8 minutes. Thanks for the heads up. Let me zoom out a little bit. Yeah, Cargolux looks like it is going to also be the first airplane to land. Not seeing anything before it. Man, holy fuck. What, are they trying to get on land or something? Are they trying to start a new evolution? Is that how evolution began? Fish mating, accidentally landing on land and figuring, okay, now we need to grow some legs to get moving about. Meanwhile, Jin Shin is grazing in the grass. No hares in the field, no more, at least not today. There were several hares in the field earlier in the week when I was here. Also, still looking out for the crow crew, which is also MIA still. Yeah. Moment of silence for the time being. GPS out of order due to Sunwind. Yeah, or maybe the Russians are also blocking the signal over here. Made the news that a lot of airliners are now having more and more issues with their GPS, with the signal being jammed, particularly around the Baltic states. There was even a clip of a pilot, I think it was a Dutch pilot, that flew somewhere in the airspace of the Baltic states, and in the cockpit the alarm for pull up was going off, and you see the camera pointing outwards, and you can see and also the altimeter. They were still flying at 37,000 feet, well above the ground. You could see the ground. That's all because of the jamming. Now I'm looking left of me because there is also supposedly an airplane flying there on the downwind leg, arriving from Ibiza. Just checking if I can see it. It's always a bit hard. Right, it's now already in the area of Zandvoort, so I need to look more to the right than I was looking. Not seeing a thing just yet. Now that 747 is now over land. Should be somewhere in the distance then. Ordinarily we should be able to see it. I think I have it. I think I have it. Mother ducker. Question is, can I see it on my screen? Alright, it has moved. Where is it? There it is. All those white electricity poles look alike. But there it is. Cargolux 747-400 arriving from Miami, Florida. Our next airplane on the base leg. Approaching the glide slope. That's the top end of digital zoom 400 times, hence the pixelation. This is back in the optical zoom range. You can see it is still approaching. Now, is the B737 going to be the number 2, I think? I think maybe. TUI sandwiched in between the heavies. There's also a Delta A330 arriving from Detroit that is now approaching the coastline. John also back in the chat. Good evening, mate. Hope all is well. Just a frame of reference. Where is it now? Looks like the gear is extending. How's the wind rumble, by the way? Still experimenting at what level the wind rumble becomes too distracting. So I have the dead cat back on the mic now, which allows for the sound to follow the sound source along with the camera. So I'm thinking maybe if the expected wind surpasses the double digits in knots, then it might be time to start using the blimp instead of the dead cat. Right, so this is Cargolux number 5 of Flight Radar, followed by 432 people. Those are rookie numbers. We can do better. Get it in the top 3. It's a 747-400, arriving from Miami, Florida. 7 hours and 46 minutes underway. It's the LX MCL, which began flying in December 2006, making this airplane 17 years old. Wind noise is fine. Thanks for the feedback, Paul. So this is still 8 to 10 knots of wind. I'm thinking if Windfinder or the METAR is already saying or predicting a wind in the double digits, maybe then take out the blimp. Otherwise, keep using the dead cat. Oh yeah. If you like shit like this, drop a like. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. There's one more Queen coming, and we also have an A380 that is underway. The next Queen and the A380 are both expected around 1 o'clock. I'm sure we'll be entertained in the meantime with inbound traffic. Let's wait until the flaps have fully retracted and then turn back the camera to watch the arrival of the TUI 737 being flown by Sunwing, which we have already seen before. Nice orangey tail. Sunwing Airlines flying for TUI as flight TUI flight 1532, arriving from Ibiza. Proof that a 737 can also get just as loud as those heavies can. They just rarely do over here at Schiphol, but this is probably a wet lease with pilots that aren't from TUI. Also giving us a little butt shot. Canadian registered. A. Canadian, eh? 8 years old, first flight February 2016. More airplanes with the potential to get loud. Up next is Delta Airlines flight 136 A330-300 arrived from Detroit, Michigan. This Airbus A330 has been flying for 7 hours and 12 minutes to get here thus far. 20 years old, first flight March 2004. Bridgie Hopper, Embraer 170 behind it, Embraer 190, Embraer 190, Embraer 190. Okay, well, if you want to get your Embraer fix, stick around. Three loud consecutive landings. I'm not hearing anything anymore. My hearing is gone. I hope yours is still intact and your speakers too. I should have said this beforehand, but watching AMS Live is at your own discretion. I cannot be held accountable for any loss of hearing or eardrums or speakers. And says, pardon? Say what? Where is that little contrail? Is it lower or is it higher still? Higher. Higher. That's a bit overkill. Oh. No. Come on. There we go. Yeah, that is too far away, sadly, to see more details. Hey. I'm hearing the passage of an airplane overhead. Not seeing any contrails in my vicinity. It sounded like... Holy shit. Those fish really go bonkers today. Right, Bridgie Hopper, Embraer 170, arriving from Cardiff. Is that the BMW? In that case, it might be Roelof and his co-worker. Drove past me this morning as I was walking up to the spot to set up. Yeah, that's the Beamer. Giving them a wave. Thought maybe they could see it. I don't think they did. Officer Roelof also heard about me calling them because of the car that crashed in water earlier in the week. Apparently somebody also made a call to the police on that day that I was on airside. People thinking that I was filming on airside, as if. That was KLM flight 1174 having arrived from Stavanger, Embraer 190. If you want to get your Embraer 190 fix, stick around, 2 more coming at least. There we go, Embraer 190 arriving from Leeds and one from Berlin behind it. It is a KLM Embraer 190, the first one, flight 1020, arriving from Leeds, 47 minutes on their way. The next one looks like it is Choc-y. Nice. Choc-y arriving from Berlin. Indeed, Ange, no need to go airside when you have zoom like this. Apparently somebody thought that the patch of grass I was standing in also was airside already. And I'm always staying on the right side of the canal. Although one time during last winter I was able to cross the canal because it was frozen and they did not yet they haven't gone through it with their icebreaker yet. Normally when those canals freeze over, they use icebreakers to break up the ice. So that there's still something of a hurdle between people wanting to reach airside and airside. On a contrail north of me, flying east to west. Let's see how much we can see of it. Pretty far to the north. Emirates? Is that an Emirates 777 then? The tail reminds me of Emirates. Although, mind you, it is pretty far to the north from where I'm standing, so not much in terms of details to be seen from over here, but the tail did remind me a little bit of Emirates. This, however, reminds me of food. Chocolate. Oh. The APRI arriving from Berlin. It's our dearly beloved friend Choc-y, high carb Embraer 190. One more Embraer 190 and then it is back to the heavy hitters, or at least one heavy hitter. Our next Embraer 190 is also a special livery, the KLM SkyTeam PHEZX, with in its wake KLM flight 682 arriving from Vancouver. KLM flight 954 arriving from Newcastle, 55 minutes underway. The airplane is 12 years old. I'm flying in April of the year 2012. Need to use some digital zoom in addition to the optical zoom just to get it a bit nearer by. Such small airplanes. Exit stage left. Meanwhile, Donald and Daisy have also arrived. We're a bit further to the right. Next up, KLM flight 682, arriving from Vancouver, Canada, 777-300ER. 8 hours 48 minutes underway. The BVF, 13 years old, first flight January 2011. See that Brody is also back in the chat. Good to see you, Brody. Hope all is well. Morning, mate. Celebrating 4 months of membership. 4 months. Hey, let's go, boy. Hey, everyone. Let's go. Hey, boy. Hey, everyone. Let me read that back properly. Hey, Brody. Good to see you again, mate. Glad that you could make it. And thank you for your continued support. Hope you still like it in the lounge. Right, back to 2 narrow bodies and then another heavy hitter, another 777-300ER. First up, an Embraer 190 arriving from Darlington or Teesside, Eastern Airways, a Britty Hopper. And then a 737 returning from Billund. Also sounds like something heavy is taking off from center. Let's have a look. United, or is it right, still in time to watch the Britty Hopper land. After the Britty Hopper it is a 737 arrival from Billund, and after that it is a 777-300ER arrival from Panama City. Nice linear glide slope. And that was indeed United to Houston, Texas. Also a quad passing by, really southwest of me. Bit windy. Is that Lufthansa? I think it might be. Old livery. Definitely more windy today than it was yesterday. Returning from the land of bills to the land of Texas. or tax evasion. KLM flight 1294, 737-700. BGG, a true G, 15 years old. First flight March 2009. And that is exactly why I keep doing it, Maria. You can almost predict also who it is going to be. Now, Jörg, thank you so much. JD, gifting 5 memberships just now. If you are one of the recipients, don't forget to say thank you or dankeschön to JD for your gifted membership. Driving from Panama City. Aphrodite has to go? Okay, well, in that case, enjoy the rest of your day, Aphrodite. It was nice having you around again. Hope to see you in the next one. Careful that you're not spending too much time in the sunshine without sunburned. Sunscreen. Don't get sunburned, use sunscreen. Right, 777 Emirates to Dubai just left. Zag je me nog zwaaien? Mag ik je even filmen? This is Officer Rudolph, one of my first members and my second subscriber to the channel. Mate of mine already was subscribed and he and me were having a talk. Hey, see ya! It was right after the first public stream I did in November, end of November 2022. And he came over with his coworker, we chatted. He posted a picture on Instagram or Twitter or something. That got things going. So my second subscriber, Officer Rudolph, also one of our members, also one of our longest members. Really nice guy. Another contrasty contrail coming this way. Undoubtedly arriving, hailing from Frankfurt or Munich or something. Looks like it is going to pass south of me. Flying southeast and northwest. So flip the camera screen a little bit so that it is not as reflective. Plenty of reflections on the airplane already. Oh, now the contrast is decreasing. Normally when airplanes move further away from the sun they get more contrasty, but not this one. Lufthansa A321 to Edinburgh. Thank you, Dirk. Now, Next up is a Transavia arriving from Faro, flight 5356. Some people over there. Also a crowd of people on the other side. Quite a few people already. Looking back at the fence in the background behind that cyclist, you can definitely see it's another busy day at Polderbaan. Now JD, I imagine yesterday it was as busy, if not more busy, if you still had gone here. In that respect, the Spottersplaats at the Kaapbaan is a lot more quiet, also during the weekends, just because it is less known and also worse to access. Now, wind is definitely picking up a little. It feels like it is blowing from the northeast a little bit. See that John renamed his username. Now it's John Vogel Aviation. Hey there, John. Good to see you. Hope all is well. Alrighty, what is our next airplane? It is an A350. Corendon, Curaçao to Amsterdam. The A350-900, 8 hours and 39 minutes underway. 1 year old, first flight May 2023. The number 9 on flight radar. 280 people are watching it. Those are rookie numbers, we can do better. Yeah, next meetup will be at the Polderbaan, JD. And we forgot to take a selfie. People wanted to see a selfie. Nestemaal. It's funny, I was outnumbered by Germans all around me yesterday at the end of the stream. The two young lads. We're from Germany, JD too. Everybody was speaking German all around me. There I was. World to fly. We've gotten it to number 6. Yeah. Next up, an EasyJet A320neo arriving from Milan. What I am going to do is have a look at the METAR in the meantime. On occasion the wind is picking up. I'm just curious to see how hard the wind is blowing right now and from what direction. Yeah, it is a bit north of east. Still 10 knots according to the METAR. Okay, temperature 22 degrees C, so that is roughly 74 F. Nice summery weather. Just pasting the ticker, the METAR into the ticker. Also a big thank you to John for gifting a membership. Andrew was gifted a membership. If you haven't already, don't forget to say thank you. And thank you so much for the gifted membership, John. EasyJet A320neo arriving from Milan. But shut the boot. Right, so still 10 knots of wind. if the wind rumble on the mic is still doable or absent, we know that with single digit wind speeds we can still use the dead cat instead of the blimp. Let me just open a little Excel or notebook or anything, something to write it down. We'll soon enough find out at what wind speed the blimp has added value over the regular dead cat. Embraer 190 arriving from Stuttgart up next, flight 1830. Fexy, P-H-E-X-E. Sexy lady. Johan, thank you for the suggestion. Portable weather station. How big are those? Because if I'm also carrying a blimp, my utility cart is already fully loaded. And I'm already carrying a lot of stuff along with me. When I'm also carrying the blimp, it's even more. A mate of mine suggested that I purchase a foldable party tent so that I could also stream during rainy weather or when it's windy. Those things are still more than 1.5 meters tall if you fold them in and take up quite a bit of space. Not sure how easy it is to set them up during windy conditions. That would require me to purchase a second utility cart. Not sure if that is very conducive to me going out more often. Harry the Heron. In the meantime, we have visual on Harry. Our tall neck. Hey there, Persia Ball. Welcome to the show. And welcome to all others who have joined in the meantime. Is that an ambulance or is that just a regional taxi bus? I think it might have been the latter. Embraer 175 arriving from Genoa. Right, so Captain Wheelie, 2 queens so far, or 3? Oh, 3 in total. 1 more expected. The A380 expected just past 1 o'clock. Andy Ronald tuning in from Groningen. Let's quickly turn back. KLM flight 604 up next. 787-10 Dreamliner arriving from LAX. Also, something heavy is pulling up from runway center. The airplane has been flying for 10 hours and 3 minutes so far. The PH-BKK, 3 years old, first flight December 2020. Let's look and listen. Ooh, A350. That's the Finnair. Nice. What else is in the pipeline for Polderbaan? Embraer 190, Embraer A320. Okay, how about we follow this airplane for a little while? It's going to make a right-hand turn and it will be passing by us. We can follow the entire route Finnair A350 outbound to Helsinki. Thinking, is the image now jittery, or is it jittery because my screen is vibrating due to the wind? Well, no matter, I cannot change. I'm not going in the menu now to switch on image stabilizer. I have to do without. Right, I have to turn back. I cannot follow the airplane because I have to untangle the wires, the cables. Next up, EasyJet flight 27906, arriving from Dubrovnik. That's Croatia, isn't it? A320neo, 4 years old, first flight July 2019. And let's see, 777 now as number 3, arriving from Guayaquil. After this airplane, another 737-700 arriving from Birmingham, and then it is the 777-200 arriving from Ecuador, Guayaquil. Johanna says, due to the wind from the east, it is roaring in Haarlem until in the Leidse buurt, the Leidse neighborhood. In the meantime, the birds are also still splashing. Donald and Daisy were doing a parallel arrival over here, or Daisy and her girlfriend, I should say. What was I about to say? Oh yeah, the fish still splashing, not the birds. KLM flight 1044, 737-700, arriving from Birmingham, 52 minutes underway, now touching down over here, PHBGM. Bomberon Gaming asked if I saw the northern lights. I didn't. Did not go out to sea. Our next airplane is arriving from Ecuador, Guayaquil, KLM flight 751, 777-200 ER, 11 hours and 2 minutes on the way to PHBQN, which is 18 years old and had its first flight in April 2006. As soon as I point the camera towards them, they're keeping quiet. Okay, well in that case let us turn back the camera to something that doesn't keep quiet, hopefully. Delta Airlines flight 164, arriving from Minneapolis, Minnesota, A330-300, 8 hours 4 minutes underway, 21 years old this one, first flight was in January 2003. And Shamrock Aer Lingus arriving from Dublin after that. KLM arriving from Milan behind it. It's a bit hazy looking to the north, so not the most crisp of glide slope shots today. Got an A330 turning onto the glide slope. Now flying base is another 777-300 ER arriving from Lima in Peru. Lima. First up, Delta Airlines flight 164. Let's get loud. Okay, that was reasonable. Not the loudest we've heard, not the quietest. Mid-range, medium, so-so. Now, on the scale of chimney smoke, this is what it currently looks like. It is actually windy. Harry is still observing. Harry the observer. Next up, Aer Lingus flight 604, arriving from Dublin, Ireland. It's an A320 underway for an hour and 15 minutes. IDEC, EIDEK, 19 years old. First flight was in March 2005. Another 737-700 arrival from Milan after that, and after that the heavies are back. More vodka, damn it. Need to stay hydrated. JB Pachman says, good morning everybody. Happy to be that you're there on Mother's Day. Oh, it's Mother's Day today. Didn't know that. Happy Mother's Day everybody. Next up, KLM flight 1614. Boeing 737-700 arriving from Milan, 1 hour and 29 minutes underway. The PHBGF, 15 years old, first flight October 2008. Hey, Alvin back in the chat. Good to see you again, mate. You missed one of those long trackings that I do that you said you liked. Finnair A350 took off from center and we followed it all the way until it was north of us. Hey. Get down, boy. Sir floats a lot behind the controls. Lieve, my mom passed away in 2018, so not much a matje, but a grave instead, so which is also why I lost track of when it is Mother's Day. Just like how when you don't have kids, like I don't, you don't remember exactly when the school holidays are. It's always when friends with children are on holidays that I'm thinking, oh, it must be a school holiday. Alan has to go. See you later, man. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you in the next one. KLM flight 765 arriving from Bonaire, A330-200. And Chris is making, Jin Shin is making a ruckus. The plane is 9 hours and 4 minutes on the way, about to touch down. Nice little wheelie. No need to be sorry, Lieve. You couldn't know that, so no worries. Right, our next airplane is arriving from Lima in Peru. KLM flight 644, 777-300ER, 11 hours and 48 minutes underway. The PHBVU, 6 years old. First flight was in September 2017. And then, oh, it's a nice back and forth between the heavies and the narrow bodies after this. 2 narrow bodies and then another 777-300ER, arriving from Atlanta. Icelandair. Where is it going? What altitude is it flying on? 5,000 feet. Is that going to turn in? It has turned in. Where is it? Looking to my left, there should be a 767 from Icelandair. Yeah, well, it's all white, and as you can see, the backdrop right above the horizon is also white. A bit hard to see, sadly. Icelandair sadly repainted all their 767s in the new livery. Next up is KLM flight 1626, Embraer 175, arriving from Milan, 1 hour 29 minutes on the way. The PHEXM, 7 years old, first flight February 2017. Embraer 190 from Lot, arriving from Warsaw behind it, and after that it is another KLM 777-300ER arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. And after that it is back to a couple of narrow bodies, 3 by the looks of it, and after that the Icelandair 767. At least it's not one after the other Embraer going on for ends, going on end. No, what's the expression? Going on, something for days on end. Going on for times on end. More victims, eh, Mario? Oh dear. Indeed, John, my English is getting rusty. It's all the vodka that I've been sipping. Lot flight 263 up next, arriving from Warsaw, Embraer 190. 1 hour 43 minutes underway, 13 years old. And let's see. Oh shoot, Cargolux to Luxembourg just took off, but that is from the... Yeah, that's really far away. Hard to see anything. Arriving to or taking off from the easternmost north-south oriented runway. Indeed, Ange, gotta stay hydrated. Also gotta keep your eye on the ball and monitor the right plane. Also, John, we're also very close to the sea over here. As the crow flies, about 10 or so miles, so a lot of salt in the air, and you know what salt does on corrosion, right? So I think my English is also getting a little bit rusty because of the vicinity of the sea, salt in the air. Next up, KLM flight 622, arriving from Atlanta, Georgia, 777-300, 7 hours and 42 minutes underway. The PH BVS, 7 years old, first flight February 2017. Fish are still very active in the water. You can hear them splash on occasion still. Right. I was also looking around a little bit to see what is going on. Our next airplane is KLM Flight 1502, arriving from Madrid, 737-800. Near miss of the contrails, or at least optically. Next up, Vueling arriving from Valencia, flight 8353, A320neo, 2 hours and 4 minutes on the way. The EC NFI, 4 years old, first flight July 2019. The airplane behind it is also Vueling, arriving from Alicante. And the airplane behind it should be the 767 from Icelandair, arriving from Reykjavik. Alright, what's going on? 737 from Transavia, arriving from Kos, turning to the north over the city. So it should be over there somewhere. Checking to see if I can spot it, but I'm not. So let's not linger too long on it then and return to what we can see somewhat decently still. Though it is getting very bright out here. Hey, Privilege Style A330 also coming in for Surinam Airways. Nice. Thanks for the heads up, Kingding. This is another Vueling, flight 1377. A320 arriving from Alicante. EC NKO, 8 years old, first flight March 2016. Is it still there? Si, senor. Affirmative. Just checking what is going on runway center. I thought I heard something. Looks like there's a 777 going to take off from center pretty soon. Right now let's focus on what is about to land on Polderbaan, which is this Icelandair 767-300 in the new livery, flight 500. 2 hours 52 minutes underway, 26 years old, it's a millennial. Now also dressed like a 26-year-old. First flight was in October 1997. Are you guys still not hearing any wind rumble on the mic? Because it's definitely a bit more windy now than it was in the beginning of the stream. On the scale of chimney smoke, this is what it currently looks like. I would say this is now a double-digit wind speed at least. Not a triple digit, of course, but a little bit. Okay, cool. Again, I'm just testing. I have the dead cat back on just to see at what wind speed the blimp will be necessary. Let me quickly do a refresh of the meter. It says 10 knots. Well, I'm not buying it. I think it's a bit more than that. But there you go. So I think maybe if the expected wind speeds exceed the 10 to 12 knots, going out with the blimp is better for the audio quality than using the dead cat. With lower wind speeds, taking out the dead cat will be enough. Air France having arrived from Paris Charles de Gaulle at 1640. Not giving us a butt shot. Also depends on the angle, yeah. Whenever the back of the microphone is pointed in the direction of the wind, I get the impression that it's worst. When you point the mic into the direction of the wind, it is far less. The sides is a bit in between. This is one way. This would be the other way. With the mic now perpendicular to the wind direction. Yeah, pointing the back to the wind is worst, absolutely. I found that out myself already quite early on. Tried taping the back of the dead cat and the XLR connector, everything did not seem to make a difference. So that is why a blimp does have added value, even though you lose the directionality that you have when it is mounted on the mic, on the cam. Right, just for fun, on board KLM flight 611 that is about to take off, the 100 years BKA plane. Mate, I wish I could see your waves, but that is a bit further out. This is Delta Airlines flight 144 arriving from Seattle, Washington. 9 hours 15 minutes underway. A330neo, 1 year old, first flight July 2022. Let's see. Is that the BKA taking off right now? Sounds different. Right. BKA is now lined up on center. Might as well see it take off in a moment. Hey, and that's good news, Evelyn. A380 has been assigned to Polderbaan. So that is 2 consecutive days, 2 days in a row that we are going to see the A380 land right in front of us. Now, and as an added bonus, right before it is a 747 arriving from the west. So if all goes well, we should see both Quad Squad members. That's the BKA I'm hearing spooling up. Ah, there it is. No, my bad. Thought it was the tail of the Dreamliner, but it isn't. Right. Let's see. There's the Transavia 737 that I tried to spot as it was turning to the north over the city of Amsterdam, arriving from Kos in Greece. At 51:46, 3 hours 26 minutes on the way. Airplane 7 years old, first flight March 2017. More what, goddammit. Alright, the PHHXG. Up next will be an Embraer 175 arriving from Frankfurt. Damn. Carbs keep splashing. Air bubbles. A silent witness of what took place just now. Is that Gary Grebe? Does look like a mother ducker. But it's a coot, isn't it? Oh man, those cootlings were cute, weren't they? Yesterday at the other runway. Doesn't ring a bell, that app, Wolfgang. I usually look at Windfinder, windfinder.com, which also gives you pretty decent 3-hour predictions of the wind for the upcoming day and upcoming days. Each time I try to zoom in, they dive under again. I was trying to point the camera to a contrail that just passed me by and is now northbound. Hey, there it is. Well, that's a high altitude. Butt shot doesn't allow us to show any details. But we have a half decent glide slope shot with an Embraer 175 arriving from Kristiansand in the foreground and a Turkish A330 in the background. Once again hearing something heavy spool up from the center runway right now. Quick pan back and forth just to see what it is. Another Dreamliner. Alright. Cool. This is KLM flight 1186, arriving from Kristiansand, 1 hour and 11 minutes underway. The PH-EXT doing a little race with K2, I believe it was. Yeah, perfect timing. K3. Proving that cars are quicker than airplanes. Think Top Gear once proved it already. Here, you witnessed it firsthand. A Ford Ranger Raptor outpaces an Embraer 175. OG Top Gear indeed, Ange. Then again, I am also an OG Top Gear viewer. Saw that clip pass by on YouTube the other day about Jeremy mimicking the accent of an American car salesman that mispronounced all the car brands: Hyundai, Mitsubishi, Jaguar. So funny. Anyway, Turkish A330-300 flight 1957 arriving from Istanbul. 2 hours and 59 minutes underway. 13 years old, first flight September 2010. Good old days indeed. Right. Still contrails everywhere almost. Harry also has gotten a bit closer by. He's gotten very interested by all that splashing going on. Get him sharp. Back to autofocus. Man, he looks grumpy. He should ask Norwegian if they could take his picture and put it on the back of one of their airplanes. It's grumpy enough. Alrighty, next up. Privilege style flying for Surinam. Flight 994 arriving from Paramaribo in Surinam. A330-200 rental. 8 hours 45 minutes underway. 11-year-old airplane. First flight March 2013. Let's look and listen. No time to linger because our last queen of the show is coming and coming soon. Now the number 9 on flight radar. 376 people are watching it. Atlas Air flight 5421, Boeing 7478, arriving from Miami, Florida. 8 hours and 15 minutes underway this one. Boeing 747-800 freighter, which is 11 years old. had its first flight in May 2012. Itty bitty airplane in the background. Let's hope she is heavy. Let's hope it is going to be a loud landing. Hopefully Jennifer Aniston was in the background playing on the ADAS. Let's get loud. Third better. It's Captain Letdown flying the airplane. Still always nice to see the 747 back at Schiphol Airport. The Delta A330s, and I believe even that orange 737 were louder. Not as graceful as this beautiful machine. Really getting a bit bumpy. Do something about it. Let's go into the menu and enable that image stabilizer. Hopefully this will make it just a little bit less bumpy. Right, in the meantime 737 having arrived from Munich with a wheelie. Bit of reverser action there. Right, next up is an EasyJet in the Austria livery. Austria. That reminds me of that clip from Buitenbeeld. Does anybody know that as well? Where that guy goes to a Thunderdome party and he interviews a guy from Austria. He asks, where are you from? And he says, Salzburg, Austria. Oh, Australia. Where? Sydney, Melbourne? No, Austria. Salzburg. Oh, Duitsland, Germany. Next level trolling. Anyway, EasyJet with an Austria sticker arriving from Milan. A320, 1 hour and 27 minutes on the way. 7-year-old airplane, first flight February 2017. It misses an N and a wolf. It's just a half job. Now, speaking about Australians, thank you Australian Wolf for 5 gifted memberships. If you are one of the recipients, don't forget to say Dankeschön to Herr Wolf, who just now gifted a membership. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge. Really mate you shouldn't have. Thank you so much, Wolfgang. E2 Umbrella landing right now, arriving from Aberdeen. This is next level trolling. That's the video clip I was referring to. Just amazingly funny. Anyway, Embraer 190 arriving from Hamburg. Hamburger. Little butt shot to boot. Now also a massive big thank you to Yacht Day, who just now gifted 5 memberships. JD, thank you so much. You really shouldn't have, but if you are one of the recipients, don't forget to say thank you to JD for your gifted membership. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, those new members. Don't forget to say thank you to Austrian Wolf and to JD for your respective memberships. And be sure to use those custom emojis that are now at your disposal, such as the A380, which won't be long anymore. Expected soon, the Emirates A380 landing on this very runway. This is Transavia arriving from Napoli, flight 6412, 737-800. PHHXC, 8 years old. Martin says it looks like 4 more before the A380, so if you need to take a bathroom break, grab a fresh cup of coffee or make a fresh pot of tea, you still have a few minutes, be quick. The A380 will not wait. Now, there's contrails everywhere. There's a contrail over there. Contrails here, contrails there, contrails everywhere. Let's see, this one looks illuminated somewhat decently. Is that Austrian? Not sure. Looked a bit reddish on the tail. You guys probably see that better than I do. This is KLM Flight 1270, arriving from Copenhagen, 737-700. think you may be right, Alvin. An Australian wolf is a dingo. Dingo, doggo, they're all related. Now it's even crowded on the other side. Now I know why they placed 3 Dixies over there and left them. People gathering around to see the A380. Also a couple more north of me. Quite a few more south of me. How busy is it? Well, hard to see. Those folks are in the way. It's probably also busy at the parking lot of the Spottersplatz itself. Another rare airplane, Transavia 747, which you don't see every day. Boeing Aviation asks, why are people so excited for the A380? I'm in England, I see them every day. Well, we are in the Netherlands, we just see one a day. So that is the difference. Wish we would see just as much A380s at Schiphol as London Heathrow does, for instance. I think that would make the streams much more enjoyable. But we have to make do with what we can, and we at least have a lot of wildlife next to the runway. E2 Embraer in the foreground, the massive A380 in the background. E2 Embraer arriving from Edinburgh. Just a quick look at the touchdown and then back to the A380. Floaty. Well, it looked floaty, but the last bit looked like a controlled, more like a controlled crash. Right, last airplane of today's show. Now the number 7 worldwide on flight radar, tracked by 480 people. Emirates flight 147. It is a daily flight between Dubai and Amsterdam, flown on the A380. This one now underway for 6 hours and 40 minutes on average. The airplane is underway for 6.5 hours so far, so it might have had a little bit of headwind on the way or taken a different route, a bit longer. Anyway, still the average flight time. The airplane is 9 years old, still with the old standard livery. Our members have access to the ribbon tail newest standard livery iteration, which is rolled out as we speak, but due to the massive size of Emirates fleet, only rarely do we still see them here. The first flight of this airplane was in April 2015. Expect this one to get loud, even though it has only 2 reversers. They often get loud. That's what I'm talking about. And folks, if you've been liking what you've been seeing so far, don't forget to drop a like. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon if you want to stay informed of upcoming live streams. this will have been the last airplane of today's show. I'm still going to follow it, exit the runway, see if we can also see the flaps retract. First spoilers will probably go down. And this is indeed the dead cat today, JD, instead of the blimp. I think that the METAR has underrepresented the speed of the wind today. Constantly set 8 to 10 knots. I think it has been a bit more on occasion. So that would give us a frame of reference to see from which wind speed the blimp makes more sense. And until which wind speed the dead cat can still be used. Now, even with dynamic image stabilizer enabled, footage is still shaky. That is the wind for you. Maybe if I just fixate the tilt axis, does that help? Not really. The axis for the up and down movement. Spoilers are down. Are the flaps now retracting? I think they are. Hard to see because of the heat wave distortion. Right. That was the last airplane. On that terrible disappointment, it is time to end. Thank you all so much for joining me here today on a sunny Sunday. Happy Mother's Day. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Be safe. Thank you all for tuning in. If you like what you saw, don't forget to drop a like. Hope to see you in the next one. Thank you for all the super chats, the super stickers, for becoming a member or for donated memberships. Thanks for the merch store purchases and the PayPal donations. You guys rock. This channel is nothing without you guys, and you guys are also what makes the channel. So hope to see you in the next one, probably tomorrow, weather permitting, but I think that shouldn't be an issue. At least not in the beginning of the day. Moderators, thank you so much for keeping the friend chatly and the chat friendly and accessible. See you in the next one. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm gonna say bye for now. See you soon.